I overheard some guy screaming on the phone. I didn't catch the whole conversation, but I heard him say, "I don't do this work for free, motherfucker." And that got me thinking, that's exactly what you don't do when someone owes you money. Here's why. The situation is already explosive. Approaching it as you're a modern day mobster is like throwing gasoline on a fire. So what can you do? I'm Derek Halpern, the founder of Social Triggers, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to deal and how not to deal with a client who won't pay up. The first step in dealing with a client who won't pay up is to figure out why. Often, knowing why can be the difference between getting paid and not getting paid. And in my experience, there are 3 reasons why a client won't pay you. The first, the client doesn't have any money. The second, the client isn't happy with the service. Or in the most egregious example, the client wants to spend the money they owe you on something else. In all cases, it's annoying. And it's definitely not fair for you as a small business owner. But there are a few things you can do to come out okay in the end. Let's take a look at the first scenario. The client doesn't have the money to pay. If this is the case, then understand that it's not a reflection of you or your product or your service. Also understand that just because they can't pay now doesn't mean they won't be able to pay you in the future. And handling this scenario the right way is key. If a client reaches out to you and explains that money is tight and they need an extension, don't lose your cool. If you do, you risk the client shutting down completely and changing their mind from "I'll pay you in the future" to "screw you." Instead, kill them with kindness. Tell them you empathize with their situation and are willing to put their account on hold or work out a new payment plan. This obviously isn't ideal for you and your business, but it's better to get paid eventually than to not get paid at all. Plus, a lot of times, people who are struggling to make their payments really do want to make them. And by offering them another solution, they will be grateful and they'll work even harder to make sure they pay you what's due. Okay, now let's look at the other 2 scenarios. The client isn't happy with the service, or the client wants to spend the money they owe you on something else. Now, I'm just gonna come right out and I'm gonna say it. These people suck. And there will be times these people can't be reasoned with. But sometimes, you can win them over. And I'll show you how. Let me give you an example. At Social Triggers, I sell online training courses, and there are usually payment plans for these courses. They also come with a 30-day guarantee or something similar. This guarantee states that you have 30 days to test the waters. If you're not satisfied or you think the training won't work for you, no problem. As long as you email us within 30 days of your purchase, we'll issue a refund and cancel your remaining payments. No questions asked. This is a lenient policy. I want my customers to be satisfied, and if they're not, I don't take it personally. I issue them a refund and wish them the best of luck. However, every now and then, a client emails me months after our 30-day guarantee has ended and says something like, "I've made X amount of payments. I don't think it's worth any more than that. Please cancel future payments." So what should you do? What should you do if you're in that or a similar situation where your client won't pay? This is how we deal with it at Social Triggers. First, we figure out where our client is coming from. Maybe they really aren't happy with something that can be easily fixed. If that's the case, then open, honest, and kind communication is key. You do not want this client to shift into defensive mode and ignore everything you have to say. And if you can make one small fix to make them happy and ensure that you get paid, then it's worth it. If that doesn't diffuse the situation, then we further explain our policies to them and let them know that they were made fully aware of these policies when they first signed up. We also explain that we are a small business, not some large company. Not that screwing over a large company is okay, but sometimes making it a little bit more personal helps change their tune. Many times, this is enough. The client understands, apologizes, and completes his remaining payments, no problem. But every now and then, a client gets hostile. I had one client threaten to bash me and my company all over social media if I didn't cancel remaining payments. To that I responded, "Go for it, but you're still legally obligated to settle your debt." And other times, a client acts downright ridiculous. I'll never forget about this one guy who bought my product, emailed me because he wanted to be a testimonial, and then 2 weeks later, emailed me asking for a refund. Why? Because he wanted to buy something else. Yes, this happens, and unfortunately, not everything and everyone is fair in business, and this guy was extremely dishonest. At Social Triggers, I add these people to the blocked and banned list and go about my day feeling better knowing that I'll never have to deal with them again. Now, there are some things you can do to scare these people off before they even become a customer, and that's the trick. If you're a freelancer, for example, you can require 100% payment before you do any work. Seriously, honest people will never have a problem with this, especially if they choose to hire you in the first place. But usually, no matter what you do, you'll have to deal with those crazy, irrational clients every now and then. Depending on how much money they owe you, it's probably not worth your time. Sometimes it's better to just chalk it up as a business lesson and hope karma gets them in the long run. These situations are stressful, but you'll get through it. Honest business people always win in the end. And that's it for the video today. So now here's what I want you to do. Have you ever dealt with a client who just wouldn't pay you for your work? How did you handle it? Did you successfully get them to pay you? What did you do? Also, if you're new here, subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get videos like this each week. And then hop over to socialtriggers.com and sign up for the mailing list. In addition to these weekly videos, I send out exclusive training material that only people on my email list get access to. Do that now, and I'll see you in the next video. Good. That's the customer. I wanted to drop his name. I'll never get bored of doing that, I'm sorry.